Tyler was 19. I was 23. We headed out to Lost Pine Lake. It was this quiet place near the edge of our town, somewhere we hadn't been in years. We used to camp there as kids, but this time felt different. We wanted to prove something, that we were grown, that we weren't scared of the dark anymore. We joked about ghosts, monsters, all that stuff. "We're not kids anymore," Tyler said, chuckling. I laughed back, but the lake didn't laugh. That first night there was no wind, no animals, just the water moving. Not like waves, not like wind. It pulsed, like something under it was breathing. Tyler turned to me and whispered, "This place feels wrong." I waved him off. "You're just tired." But the truth is, I felt it too, deep in my gut. Like we weren't alone. The next night, Tyler left the tent to pee. Said he'd be back in a minute. He didn't come back. At first, I wasn't worried. I waited. I called out, "Ty!" Nothing. I grabbed the flashlight and stepped outside. That's when I saw it, in the lake. A figure, still, barely visible. It had long hair, pale shoulders, back turned to me. I stepped closer. "Tyler?" No answer. I took one more step and the figure sank, not fast, not like it drowned. It just slipped under, like it belonged down there. I ran to the edge, scanning the water. "Tyler!" No splash, no ripples, just silence. And then a whisper, right behind me. "I'm back." I turned around, and there he was, Tyler. But something was off. He was dry, too dry. No wet footprints, no sound of clothes sticking. He walked into the tent like nothing happened. "I just went for a walk," he said, not even looking at me. He sat down, crossed his legs, stared at the tent wall, didn't speak, didn't blink. I tried asking questions, but he didn't respond. Around 3 a.m., I smelled something. Rot, like wet leaves and meat. Then he whispered to the wall, "He knows I'm not the only one." I didn't sleep. I couldn't. I watched him sit there all night like a statue. In the morning, he was gone. I packed up fast, ran to the car, threw my gear in, but the engine wouldn't start. Then I saw them, figures, dozens of them, standing in the shallow water, all with their backs turned, all still. One turned. It was Tyler, but not the one from last night, the real Tyler. His mouth moved, but the sound came from inside my head. "Leave. Now." I turned the key again. Nothing. Then the figures began walking toward me, not fast, but steady, like they had all the time in the world. I slammed my fists on the dashboard, screamed, cried, and then the engine roared. I drove like hell, never looked back. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I see them, standing in the water, waiting, and I wonder which one came back with me.
The last time my brother Connor and I went camping was 5 years ago. I was 18, he was 15. We had just lost our dad. We wanted to prove to our mum, and maybe to ourselves, that we were strong, independent. We chose Lake Crescent in Washington, one of those foggy tree-wrapped lakes no one really talks about. Off the main trail, there was this unmarked cove we found on an old forum. That's where we went. No cell service, no people, nothing. The silence was too pure. Beautiful, but off. No birds, no wind, not even bugs. As we pitched the tent, Connor kept staring at the water. "It's too still," he said. Not like a mirror, like it's not there at all. That night was when things got weird. Sometime past midnight, we sat by the fire, not really talking. Then a sound, a distant shout from across the lake, muffled, human, but you couldn't make out a single word. Probably a ghost, Connor joked, but he wasn't smiling. Then we heard it again. Same shout, but this time it came from behind us. Same tone, same pitch, same unintelligible scream. I spun around with a flashlight. Nothing, just trees. But Connor's face was pale. "Dude," he said, I think I had that thought in my head just before we heard it." "What do you mean?" "Like something inside me was trying to say something, and then you heard it." We decided to sleep. Inside the tent, something walked outside. Not an animal. The steps were too clean. 1, 2, 3. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Measured. Intentional. Connor didn't sleep a minute. In the morning, I found footprints by the path down to the lake. Not ours. Barefoot, but deep, as if whoever left them was heavier than they looked. The second day, the lake became even quieter. There was a hum, not audible exactly, more like something in your skull. Connor felt it too. Same frequency, same pressure. That afternoon, Connor disappeared. One moment he was right next to me. The next, gone. I shouted, ran around, checked the lake. Nothing. I was dialing 911 when he suddenly emerged from the brush beside our tent, covered in dirt, dry-eyed. "What happened to you?" I asked. He just said, "You were right there, the whole time." But his hands were shaking. That last night, I'll never forget. I woke to Connor whispering, but the voice wasn't his. It was high, feminine, cracked and strange. Not English. Maybe not a language I thought. I shook him. He opened his eyes, but didn't recognize me. "Connor?" "I'm not Connor," he said, but he sees me now. He pointed toward the lake. His arm didn't tremble anymore. His eyes were too calm, like someone else was using them. By morning, everything seemed normal again. He hugged me. "Bad dream," he said, but his voice was too perfect. As we packed up, I noticed something. No matter what I said or did, he never looked at the lake again. Not once. Connor lives in a different state now. We barely talk. Last month I got a call around midnight. I answered. No one spoke, but I heard something. A voice, deep inside the line. Not from Connor, but through him. Just one word. Reflected.